Hello everyone and welcome, this is Comodin Cam. In this video we are going to be ranking every Cliffjumper design from worst to best. And today I am joined with my good friend Brian from TF Fanpage 101.
Hey, I'm Brian from TF... Wait, he already said that, okay.
Yeah, I always get confused with your name. Do you say T-Fan?
I say T-Fan, it's either one, you could say whatever, you could also call me Tomato.
Alright, Tomato. Today we're going to be looking at all the Cliffjumpers.
Hey, we're gonna give a birthday shout out to the little birthday boy, 01 Trans Fan, hello!
Yes, this is the birthday present to you. This is our gift. I'm sorry it couldn't be anything better.
Yep, I'm sorry you're disappointed.
Brian told me you're a Cliffjumper fan, and you know he's probably going to comment saying, actually, I prefer Astro Train. Cliffjumper is not my favorite Transformer, so screw you guys.
He's gonna say, actually, I prefer Bumper.
Happy birthday, dude. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's go through all the tiers. Top tier is for Horns, because, you know,
Horns!
basically just the best Cliffjumper. And then we have Pretty Snazzy. That was Brian's suggestion. And then we have Earned the Right to Live, where it's like, we like it, but then it's not that great either. And then the other tier is a B knockoff, where, you know, it's clearly just Bumblebee, but painted red.
It's Hasbro trying to get money, that's pretty much the whole point of it.
Basically, yeah. We should just call it Hasbro Wants Money. And then the last one, the worst one, is Jump Off a Cliff. Because, let's make puns. Right, so let's talk about the first Cliffjumper. That would be in the G1 cartoon.
Yeah, I pretty much know what this is. Yeah, I like him. I will admit, though, I feel like there's a little too much gray in this design.
The only thing really different about, obviously, him and Bumblebee is really the hood at the back of the car and then his head. Everything else is kind of like... I know they're supposed to be different car types, but obviously in the show, they're pretty much identical when it comes to robot mode.
Take that back. You realize that he has Porsche feet, okay? And you call yourself a Transformers fan. You're canon on Cyberverse, and yet you got this wrong? I mean, OMG.
I mean, come on. They're identical, for God's sake. Goddamn nerds.
You are a nerd, and that's all you are!
To be fair, I am glad they actually did do a slight change in the cartoon, and they just didn't, like, duplicate Bumblebee and just replace the head. Like, they did actually change it a little bit for the cartoon.
Oh yeah, they put in the effort, which is more than you could say for some of the later ones.
I'll put it in the horns, for the sake then. We'll do that. I was born in the 80s. I am a vampire. I've lived through all of this. Okay, we have the second Cliffjumper, and this is from the comics. Now, I like it because it's blue.
He looks beefier. He looks more jacked up. He looks more like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson now.
To be fair, actually, I wished in the cartoon they added the blue, because I like the colours, mostly of the G1 designs of the comics. Like, I like the way how they pop.
I like that, and I like that there's a little more of the vibrant red going into it. You know, it just gives him a little more something that pops.
Do you think this also belongs in the horns then? Because I really like the blue on this one.
Well, if the original one does, I think this one should too.
Alright, put it in the horns. Alright, the next one. We are going to be looking at the original Generation 1 box art.
Well, it's definitely not the horns, I don't think. It's just weird.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's earned the right to live because... I mean, I don't absolutely hate it because I kind of do admire the old Generation 1 box art style. Like, it has got a certain charm to it.
Yeah, I was about to say charm, yeah.
I think this one, though, has just earned the right to live. Like, it's just passable.
Yeah. It looks like he knows they can't win a fight, but he's going to try anyways.
Yeah, he's going to get in that boxing ring either way. This is from the video game Battle to Save the Earth. And oh my god, I feel so sorry for this little man. I mean,
you send that, I could not tell if it was Gears.
Honestly, it reminds me of Turbo from the GoBots a little bit. I don't know why. He looks like Turbo. I think this one should jump off a cliff. Because he looks like he's ready to kill himself.
It looks like he wants to jump off a cliff, but there's no cliff in sight.
He's just there like, what do I do? Alright, now we have an interesting one now. This is from Transformers Armada. Now, this is a deco of Ransack. But something interesting about this you may not know. This is actually a female. I think this is the only time Cliffjumper's been a female. This was partnered with Cheetah.
I get that some people won't like it because it's not G1, but I can distance myself from that easily. I gotta say, I really do like it. I think the color scheme fits. I like the purple with the orange. It's something that I don't normally see too often in Transformers. And I just like the shape in general.
Yeah, I actually think this is a really good redeco, to be fair. I think it's pretty snazzy.
This lady's pretty snazzy.
Well, we've got the next one now, and
Oh, I'm scared.
let's talk about Energon Cliffjumper.
Oh, this.
This existed once.
Yeah, it was also Beachcomber for a while, which apparently was the same character. We talked about that earlier. That was weird.
I mean, the only thing I kind of like is the big tires on the back, but everything else just looks kind of like generic a little bit to me. I don't know, I don't think the yellow and green mix really well together.
It looks like the typical Energon character that you would see in Transformers, where they were kind of like experimenting with big, boxy, and weird shaped designs. I will say, though, I did like this as a kid.
I just don't know, I always feel like Cliffjumper needs to be associated with red in some way or another. And these colours just... It feels like it should be called something else, like, I don't know, Roadbuster or something.
Hubcap.
Yeah, it seems more appropriate for that. I'll just put it in the Earn to Right to Live, and I think that's the highest any Energon figure has come. Now this one.
I have one of these.
I always feel sorry for these kinds of designs. They just feel like they're just bearing on to pure life.
Obviously, this is going to go in the lowest tier. Me personally, I love the cardboard stuff. I make a bunch of cardboard custom Transformers that are more in line with all the other Transformers. Like, they have the 5mm port system, but it's all in cardboard. But no, it sucks.
Yeah, the only thing I like about it is actually the car mode. The car mode actually looks pretty decent, to be honest. But the robot mode just looks disgusting. The head actually gives me Ironhide vibes a little bit. I think this deserves to jump off a cliff, though.
If it can. I don't even think it can. It would just fall apart before, and then float down the cliff.
Alright, the next one. A very popular one. This is the Classics Cliffjumper. I mean, it's pretty much Bumblebee, isn't it? I mean, I'm pretty sure they share the same mold, really.
Oh, yeah. But I gotta say, they stepped up with this because they added the silver, and I think that just makes it look real good. I know some of the stock images don't really do it justice, but I know people who have it in hand, and it looks so much better in hand.
I'm not too crazy about the kind of like tires on the top. You know, it looks like wings. I wish that part was kind of not there.
That is wings. It's a jetpack.
Oh, okay, so that's what it is.
I think it's pretty snazzy. I think the silver pops, honestly.
I'll put it in there then. Alright, next one is actually the same, but without the wings and without the silver. This is from the Legends card game. I think it's pretty much the same as that, but it's just pure red.
It's hard to compare that with the Classics one, because the Classics pops because it uses silver, not just gray. This one just kind of feels like it's the same toy, but they decide to mute it.
I think that's Earned the Right to Live then, I think. Yeah. Right, this one is the Alternity Cliffjumper. I think this looks gross.
I will say the artwork does make it look better, but the toy... What is going on with the legs?
I love the fact that he looks like he's carrying Uzis as well. He's got Uzi guns.
I don't even like the use of the red. It's too dark. I get the metallic red, but it just... There's nothing popping here.
I'm trying to remember if Bumblebee's Alternatives line is the same.
It's just it, but yellow. I looked it up.
Oh, is it exactly the same but yellow?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow, I think this deserves to be in a B knockoff then.
Yep.
Because there's nothing inspiring about this at all, just a different head.
Our first B knockoff! Woo! Put out the celebration! Woo!
Alright, next one is my personal favourite, and I think belongs in the horns. Transformers Animated Cliffjumper. I mean, I love this Cybertronian mode. I like it with both Bumblebee and Cliffjumper and a few others, but I feel like the red kind of suits it a bit better. Like, I really like the red on this.
I also think that the gray is very nice along with this color scheme of red. I think the dark red actually does work with it.
I also like the chin. I love how fat his chin is. It's really
God,
big.
The chin. You know.
We're going to talk about the same one, but this time is Earth mode. Well, actually, I've only just discovered this right now, to be fair. That's a mock-up someone has done, but Cliffjumper did actually have a toy in Transformers Animated, and I have just tracked down...
It's that Activators one, right?
I'll include this one instead of that one.
I like the black and the gray on the legs, and I like the light on the chest. But what I'll say is that the chest also kind of looks like it's just a bib. It's kind of off from the design. But yeah, I'm alright with it.
I felt like they could have gotten rid of a blue headlight. It's just basically a copy of Bumblebee from his activators, so technically it's a knockoff of Bumblebee, but still, I like it. I think it's pretty good. But I'm glad they actually made a mold of the head, so I think this belongs in the right to live. Alright, something that can jump off a cliff is the Cliffjumper movie render for the toy.
It's just Bumblebee had too much tomato sauce.
Yeah.
It's all over his face. That's disgusting. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look in his eyes. That's disgusting.
We'll talk about them both at the same time then, because I've put them both as separate. Like, we've got the actual toy, and then we've got the official render. I mean, I think these can go and be knockoff for definite.
I will argue with that.
Oh, here we go. Debate!
Oh, put up the logo to Epic Debate, Epic Gamers.
Nerd fight, nerd fight.
Drama, YouTube drama.
Keemstar! Let's get right into the beef.
Let's get right into the Cliffjumper.
I think you stupid, so,
I think I'm the winner and you're stupid.
I think you're right, but I think I'm still good. You're a big no-no.
I've subscribed to my channel. I have 15 subs.
Okay, we're not getting anywhere. This is just getting more stupid.
Okay. The Cliffjumper, this was a holy grail for me for about 10 years.
Whatever.
I could never find this toy up until a toy fair where I finally found it, and I found 5 of them at the toy fair, and it was just weird. I do get why people might not like it, but I think it is a good choice to repaint from a Bumblebee. And what I like about that is they only did this once up until the Bumblebee movie toys, other than maybe some Legends figures. I mean, there is a Legends figure that came out around the same time. And even though, yes, the head has quite a lot of red, I think it stands out to be different than Bumblebee because of the excessive use of red. Like, it just kind of stands out and makes it different. I also love the fact that they use silver and black for the stripes. And I don't know, like, I got him beside me. I love this thing a lot, so.
You finished?
Oh, sorry, did I bore you?
It's earned the right to live then. Because I will admit I do like the silver.
Sure, we can make amends with that. Shake hands.
Right.
Show a picture of presidents shaking hands and then put our faces over it.
And you're Trump.
Sure, why not? My fellow Americans, movie Cliffjumper is the best Cliffjumper.
Next up we have Cliffjumper from the movie comics.
I'm not into it.
It looks so messy. It actually looks like, I don't know, there's so many lines and like so many layers on top of it. Like the chest is kind of okay, but everything else is just kind of like, it looks like a hybrid. Well, the head is exactly Bumblebee.
And then color the first movie Megatron, whatever image you can find, and then put that head over top, and that's what you get out of this.
So I think this belongs in a B knockoff. Like, the head is exactly like Bumblebee. Next, we're going to talk about the yellow one. No, wait, the red one. Next up, we have Cliffjumper from the Bumblebee movie. Now, I will admit, when it comes to this, I prefer the Cybertronian mode Cliffjumper than I do the Bumblebee Cybertronian mode. I think this design just kind of suits him better. Even though it's not that awe-inspiring or very creative, I still prefer this. I think the head suits the body better than it did on Bumblebee.
I think if you distance it away from Bumblebee and just think of, like, in-universe, I think it works. I think his head fits the torso a lot more because it's got a wider shape that kind of flows with how it kind of comes up to the shoulders.
I think it belongs in just pretty snazzy, because I feel like they could have changed up some things a little bit more. I don't think it's like the definitive Cliffjumper for me in the movies, but I still think they did a pretty good job with the Cybertronian design. Alright, next up we have Cliffjumper from Transformers Prime.
This is the horns. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah, I mean, this design is so uniquely different. Such a good change. You know, not making him a duplicate of Bumblebee. And I love the car mode. The car mode is amazing. I still have the car mode. You know, I play with it an awful lot. I just love the vehicle mode of it.
The guns, too. I love the 3-barrel guns that would come out of his hand.
Alright, now we've got him in the horns. What do we think about the Terracon version of Cliffjumper in Prime? We have a purple variant and also the original red variant that we saw in the show. For a design point of view, I think the purple kind of works a bit better. But I wish the purple and red were kind of mixed in one. I think it might have been a bit better.
It was scary. It was terrifying on the show.
So where do we think we should place these two then? Do you think they should just be in Earned the Right to Live, which is kind of the irony of it?
Yeah. Well, now you tempt me just for the irony of it. I'm fine with that, yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the actual toy version of the first edition Cliffjumper, but head is obviously resembled more to be like Generation 1 Cliffjumper. This is an Asia exclusive.
I prefer the Prime head just because it flows better, but I do have this. This was the first one I actually got.
Yeah, I've always wanted to own that one. I've always preferred this one than the first edition. I think it's just because I prefer the head a bit more.
When you go back to the War for Cybertron games, it's reversed. So this one uses the Prime body, but the game uses the Prime head.
I think we should put this in pretty snazzy.
Yeah, pretty snazzy. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, the next one is a different one. We've got a different one now. This is Cliffjumper from the G.I. Joe comics. Very kind of different. This is the only panel we have of him. Unfortunately, we can't see the rest of his body.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of the black and red, but what I will say is all I'm thinking is G2 Sideswipe. That's the only thing running through my head.
Yeah, it looks a bit too much like G2 Sideswipe now you mention it.
They wanted to make him stealth and cool, but they just turned around and make it generic. I don't hate it. I would like to see more of it to kind of get an idea, but just based on what I'm seeing, it looks bland.
Alright, next up we have Spotlight Cliffjumper. This is pre-Earth from the comics. This is in his own Transformers Spotlight Cliffjumper comic. Now this is, I think, pretty cool. This is something I'm not really familiar with, but the design alone really strikes me. I like his chest, the window effect. I think this design though is actually someone who sketched it on DeviantArt, so I want to try and find credit for that person who actually gave us a full design of it.
So I like how rounded it is. I like how the windscreen splits off to the arms and then the chest, but it looks like it's meant to be a part of that. I kind of like how it just combines like that. But what I will say is my one criticism is I'm not a big fan of the gray over the chest. And the only reason why is because I saw some other images. It just makes him look too much like a prototype or just unfinished. But that is like my only criticism about it. I like it overall.
I like his legs. I think his legs are pretty good. I like how wide they are. But I will agree with you with the grey. But I still think overall, for the comics, I think it's a pretty snazzy design.
I like how it was different, but obviously Cliffjumper, yeah.
Alright, we have another comics now. This one I think everyone's more familiar with. This is from the Transformers Volume 1. I think this is issue 2, Things Fall Apart. This is kind of like the main Cliffjumper in the comics that people kind of talk about a lot. I think this is kind of similar though to Bumblebee a little bit.
I like the head. I get why people like it. I like the legs, and I feel like I should like the chest, but all I'm just seeing is Bumblebee, and I can't really distance myself from that, unfortunately.
So should we put in Earn the Right to Live or a B knockoff?
I think B knockoff, just because all I'm seeing is Bumblebee.
This is from the IDW Galaxies. Now we have two images here for reference, a close-up and a main body shot. I like the close-up shot, I like the head. The only thing I really like is the head. The rest of it, to me, is pretty much G1 Cliffjumper, but a bit plain in some areas. Even though the lining and patterns look good.
I actually like how boxy it is, because it's definitely the G1 Cliffjumper. It definitely cleans it up, but you still have the texturing in it and some of the gearing and mechanisms that feel hardwired. And I don't know, I think it works. I especially like the underarms. I know that's a weird thing to say, but that little panel there just kind of sells it to me. And I like how the horns are straight up rather than just to the side, because it just makes them look a little different, and it gives them a little more charm to them. So, I don't know, I like it, personally.
Next Cliffjumper design is from the All Hail Megatron comic. Now, he's a taxi now.
I love
only-
that. I love that.
I like how it's drawn, even though I don't like the idea of it. You know, him being a potential taxi. I don't know if he is or not. I mean, I'm just looking at his side doors for reference. I don't know any specifics about this comic, so people will obviously let me know and tell me I'm wrong.
I'm typing right now.
What do you think? Pretty snazzy or Earn the Right to Live?
I'm going to say pretty snazzy. I just think it's a clever redesign. I like some of the ideas on this.
Alright, we're going to talk about War for Cybertron Trilogy Cliffjumper now. Now, this isn't the toy, it's just his model from the show. Now, I think we all know where this is going. This belongs in B knockoff, because he is literally Bumblebee, but painted red.
Yeah.
Let's actually talk about the toy of Cliffjumper and Earthrise.
Oh god, this is where things are going to get a little controversial now, isn't it?
I mean, the toy is pretty plain. I don't like the torso a little bit, because it does look very, very skinny.
I love it. I still do. I know I spent a little too much on it. Actually, I got it on a pretty good deal. But I think that the articulation is really good on it. I like the color scheme of it. I like the weapons, especially the reference to one of the episodes in the show where he's got the ski mode. I thought that was kind of a nice touch that they didn't have to add in, but they did anyways.
But from a design point of view in his robot mode, I feel like overall, even though it may be really good like as a figure, I think it's I don't know. I feel like it's plain for me. So I think it's earned the right to live though, because it has got a lot of good points to it.
I'm fine with, putting it in whatever, snazzy or lower or whatever.
Cliffjumper from the War for Cybertron games. I mean, the head is pretty similar to Prime, and I prefer the red compared to Bumblebee. Once again, the red I think like is superior in a lot of places. I felt like for the game they could have changed him up a little bit just to make him different instead of them just using clearly a model of Bumblebee from the last game. Like I'm going to show you right now. We can compare them both. This is actually the War for Cybertron toy of Bumblebee with the G1 head. This is part of the United toys.
I will say that, especially coming off of the War for Cybertron games, the previous rendition of Cliffjumper where we had the toy with the G1 head, I just feel it's really weird seeing that Prime design head on this body.
I think both belong in Earned the Right to Live, because even though I want to put him in a higher tier, I just can't. The only thing I like about it is the head. The rest of it is pretty generic, and I wish they actually changed it up for the game a bit more instead of it just reusing the Bumblebee model.
I think the game design can be pretty snazzy, because I don't think it's bad, it's just kind of weird to me, because I just see that. My brain instantly goes to Prime and then War for Cybertron.
Alright, next up we have the Earth Wars game. Whew. I mean, okay, everybody who's been watching these tier lists so far knows I'm not the biggest Earth Wars fan. The car mode is the only thing kind of different. It pretty much looks similar to the Fall of Cybertron design.
I gotta be honest, I think this was meant to be that chase figure that I mentioned earlier from Titans Returns.
The car mode gives me kind of Hotshot vibes a little bit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, with the front hood, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, now something I think does belong in pretty snazzy is the Forge to Fight version. I actually really like this mode. I like the stripes on him. I think it looks actually pretty cool, and the shoulders look not bad either.
The one thing I don't like is the lower legs. I feel like it could have used more of the car components for that. I get that it's on the shoulders, but
I like the top part. The torso part is pretty good, but the legs, yeah, you're right. I don't like the legs that much of it. I think they're a bit too kind of grey. Like, I would have preferred some red parts on his legs. I think that would have actually suited it better. Alright, next up we have the Transformers Generations Legends Cliffjumper. Now, I'm going to send you two pictures because we have an actual render of it and we have the actual toy. I mean, the render looks actually pretty decent, even though it looks really, really wide. Like he's been eating a lot of pancakes.
it makes his head look way too small.
I mean, it's pretty much the Earth Wars car, really, when you look at it.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Well, should it belong in B knockoff then, maybe? Or...
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, next up we have the Disgusting Constructor Bots line. I think this one needs to jump off a cliff because, oh my god, where is the meat on that boy? Look at that neck.
So, this is where we're going to get a little conflicted. I love Construct Bots, but there is a reason why.
I've already put it on jump off a cliff.
I'm not going to argue with that. I love the idea of them. Again, Bionicle fan, but I am not arguing.
Alright, we've been doing this for quite a while now, so I don't know if you're a bit hungry, but would you like a caramel Cliffjumper?
Oh, give me that.
Alright, next up we have... What the hell is this?
I don't like that reaction.
This is alt mode's Cliff. I don't... It's just him with the big head.
So, for clarification, what these are is you pull the tag on the top. These were like mystery box figures. So you pull that tag, and then the alt mode would flip around from the head. So the head opens up, and you've got the entire body that folds into that. And you just pull the tab, and it keeps switching. Terrible idea.
Well, if you look at his face, it looks painful, that process. Like, he's, like, forced to smile. I think we need to put him out of his misery and jump him off a cliff. Alright, let's get through the Creos. We have Custom Creo and the regular Creo. I mean, the regular Creo looks okay. The Custom Creo, I don't know what's happening here. The silver is weird.
Yeah, they were doing a whole line of chrome figures for some reason. I got the Soundwave. The Soundwave's okay, but...
Actually, I'm looking at it now, and the Bumblebee regular Creo is exactly the same as Cliffjumper.
Let's go ahead and put that into B repaint knockoff, whatever.
I've never really been a big fan of these at all. I believe these are the super bots, and this is Cliffjumper. I mean, yeah, this is very transparent, you know.
Oh no, bot shots, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I don't care for these at all.
Nobody really remembers them too much.
Alright, next up we've got, I believe, Combiner Wars Cliffjumper. You'll correct me about this. I mean, the only reason I chose it was because of a render image. It looks like Bumblebee, but red.
So, I think this was not really specific to any Combiner Wars, Titans Returns, or any line. I believe this was a dollar store figure at
I've
the
seen
time.
the render image of Bumblebee in the same pose, and this is literally Bumblebee, but red. Like, if you just change that yellow, it's exactly the same render.
Which, we have a special category for that.
Yes, B knockoff for sure. Alright, next up we have... We have Q Transformers. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect the black on this. Like, the shade of black around the tires. I think actually it's pretty decent, and the head is actually pretty cool. I like these Q little figures. I think they're kind of cool.
I like how the gray traces around the wheels. It just
Yeah.
gives them that nice flashy look.
I think pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
We have the Shattered Glass Cliffjumper, and he looks more terrifying than the Terracon one.
This is usually my Halloween image for October. I like the idea that he would be dark blue, but there's not really much to go about with this.
Is it jump off a cliff, B knockoff, or earn the right to live, despite the irony?
I think it would be B knockoff, despite the fact that it's not a B knockoff, but technically is a B knockoff, because I think they just used the Bumblebee design with the Cliffjumper head.
Next up is the prototype for the War Within Cliffjumper, but if you actually look at the image, it's got Bumblebee's head on it, and Cliffjumper's just right next to it, so it's not really that inspiring, really, for a Cliffjumper design. I mean, the design, I've always said, looks more like a sea spray than actually either of them.
Yeah, that too, and I just find it kind of bland looking. I just realized that his head is actually beside him, and then it's the Bumblebee head. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
now I see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think this belongs in B knockoff.
Yeah.
Alright, next up. Now, this is the best figure of Cliffjumper you will ever own. Unfortunately, you won't be able to own it because you weren't born in the same time era.
Stop leaving me in suspense!
Alright, we have McDonald's Cliffjumper. He looks like he's trapped in concrete.
He looks like he's a sarcophagus of himself.
Yeah.
With thick Cliffjumper.
Yeah. I think this belongs in Jump Off a Cliff. Whatever kid bought a McDonald's, right, and was like, oh my god, I'm so excited for the toy, and then we saw this, I think they would be disappointed. Alright, last but not least, because everybody knows I love these so much.
Oh, prepare for it. Here's a drum roll.
If I forget to mention these little buggers, then I might as well be shot. It is Cliffjumper from Angry Birds.
Woo! Look at that, sunglasses! Woo!
God.
Hey everyone, leave a like for this.
Yeah, if you like Angry Birds, please leave a like. It will help the channel. I will admit, I do kind of like the pose of this. Like, I do. The shades are stupid, but I think it actually looks kind of funny. So I don't want to. And the horns are there, so I will give them that.
I like how the wheels look like the back of the boots for like a cowboy.
Yeah. To be fair, I won't hate on this so much because I actually think it looks kind of pretty cool. Like, I like the animation of it a little bit.
I think what everyone needs to do, everyone watching this video, is change your profile picture on Twitter to this for one day, and then tweet to me something, anything.
Tweet to him that I hate you for making me do this.
Yes, please. And then cry.
I do believe then this belongs in pretty snazzy.
Yeah, sure. We'll give it for this one. Angry Birds, you get a pass for this one.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for the people who really like it. You've won, audience. Alright, guys, that's the end of this tier list. What do you think overall? Do you think this is a good list? Is there anything you want to change at all?
Man, I thought we put more characters in the horns.
I know, right? Thank you once again, TF Fanpage 101, aka Brian, for joining me.
Oh, is that my cue? Oh, okay.
This has been perhaps the greatest debate ever on a Transformers tier list.
Rate our debate in the Reddit below.
For more videos just like this, guys, be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell to get all updates instantly.
I've been TFanpage 101. This has been my guest, Comodin Cam.
Hey, wait,
And
hang on.
I will see you, whatever.
Hold on, dude. This is my channel. What are you...